The following non-nominated, non-award-winning program is rated D for dumb.
The following podcast is rated D for dumb. You're listening to Dumbing It Down with Dave, the fastest podcast on earth. Listen to Dave commute to and from work on the New York State Thruway in his 2008 Kia-Rio LX. He talks about pragmatism, truth, happiness, and the search for it all. Join Dave as he asks and tells you how life ought to be. And now, here's Dave.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dumbing It Down with Dave. My name is Dave Canyon. And welcome to the show. Are you ready to dumb it down? All right. Fantastic. Let's dumb it down together. It is March 21st, 2024. It is 1:14 in the afternoon as I'm recording this. And I am not in the Kia-Rio today. I am in a Subaru Outback. It's my wife's car. I used it this morning because I took some people to the airport, made a little cache on the side, little extra, little something. How do you spell cache? C-A-S-H, cache, C-A, see, long A, cache. Anyway, I took them to Westchester County Airport, a mother and a daughter, going out of Florida on vacation, and they put out a little thing online, they need a ride. So I checked. I said, well, what does Uber charge? Uber charges $167, and I charged them less. So there you go. Nice car, Subaru, right? Can't go wrong. 2019. It's got all the technology, the comforts, the windows, the air, the ride, it's the reliability. So anyway, I made a little money. And it was easy, except we had a little traffic. There was a last-minute accident, but I knew a detour. And we took a detour, and it only cost us a couple of minutes. Sitting in the traffic could have cost us more. And so anyway, it was good. It all worked out. And they're on their way to Florida. And they'll have a good week. And then I'm picking the mother up next week when she comes back. I'm picking the mom up. So that's good. You know, a little return business. And it's always good to have a little cash in the pocket. And, you know, it's I like driving. Again, I like driving on my terms. It's all good. So they're going to Florida, and let's do the weather report. We'll talk about a few things here. The last time I talked to you, I was coming back from Gainesville, Florida. It wasn't very hot. It rained one day, but it was nice weather. Now I'm coming back from County Airport, and then I drove on 684 north to 84, and then 84 west to 87 north, and I'm headed home. Weather, let's do the quick weather report. And I will do that because if you're asking, well, why are you doing it? No podcast does a weather report. What do I care? Well, if you're new to the show, you know you don't know that I do the show in my car, not the Kia today, in a Subaru Outback. But I like to share with you my weather conditions. What am I looking at? What am I experiencing? How can I bring you into it? You're riding shotgun with me. You're riding shotgun. So I want to share with you what the weather is. Right now, believe it or not, I am driving in New York State, and for those of you who listen all the time, you know what I'm going to say, but for those of you who are new, you don't know. The weather is beautiful. The weather is absolutely beautiful. It's so much sunshine. It's not abundant. It's not overly abundant. It's the right amount of sunshine. There are some clouds, and there's blue sky. So it's one of those kind of perfect scenarios where you get a little bit of everything, which might be the theme of today's show. You know, preferences. What do you prefer? I think we might get to that. So today, right now, well, the temperature is 39 degrees, so it's very cold outside. But it is sunny, and it's not snowing. It did snow. It did snow this morning, and it snowed yesterday. Nothing stuck, except a little bit on the grass. But so no accumulation that's worthy of anything. But it did snow, and it snowed, I think, on the first day of spring or the second day of spring, something like that. Today is the 21st. So whenever spring was over, it snowed. Whenever winter was over and we went into spring, it barely snowed this winter. Really, we did not have a big snow winter. But we had a snowy spring to start. What does that mean? It means nothing. Anyway, so now I'm on the thruway headed north. I got a cup of coffee I bought at McDonald's in case I start yawning. I actually did a take one of this episode, and I went 14 minutes in, and I did a dumb thing. I hit some sort of button by accident, And, well, I ended up ending the show. So I wish I didn't do that, but I did it. So now I have to recreate the entire show. Thank God I only went 14 minutes. I mean, it doesn't really matter how far I went. If I went 29 minutes, at some point I would have just published the show. But I like to say goodbye. I say hello. I think it's proper in a podcast to say goodbye. And I don't know how to edit like a second show, like to add on. It's very hard for me, but I'm learning how to do it. So anyway, what do you want to hear? You want to hear a podcast? I'm trying to give you the best podcast I can. And but you're failing miserably at it, Dave. You're just talking. All right, let's get to it. The weather's nice. I'm in the Subaru. I'm not in the Kia. Kia has 325,000 miles. So that's the quick mileage report. The Kia is back on the road. I got it all repaired. Just needs to be inspected. But I have been driving it, and it rides great. I did not fix the fuel tank. For those of you who know, the fuel tank had a little bit of a leak on the top. It's not a severe leak, but I'm going to try. I'm just not going to top it off. I'm just going to put in like $10 at a time. So it'll always be at a half a tank. And we'll see what the gas mileage is like. With all the new equipment that's in there, rotors and things. I don't know. We did some suspension work. So the Kia at 325,000 miles still seems like it's got some life left in it. Thank God. I'm really happy about that. I really like to run that forever. I don't need another car. Would I ever drive cross country with the Kia? Probably not an advisable idea. But I could. I'd give it a shot if somebody was interested. If I was interested, I would drive it cross country. Sure. I mean, would I drive it 20 hours straight? No, I probably wouldn't. I think the best thing to do with that Kia is to drive it 3 to 5 miles and then take a break. 3 to 5 hours and then take a break. Or probably bathroom breaks. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that Kia... it's like I'm not a mechanic. But the Kia has always been good to me. And even at 325,000 miles, I think the Kia can go pretty long distances without stopping. As long as I don't do like 80 miles an hour. I think if I hit it 65 miles an hour... drove normally, I think it'd be fine. I think the Kia will go a long way. Barring any whatever life that Kia has. God has a plan, right? That's what they say. If you're religious, God has a plan. So does God have a plan for mechanical equipment? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. They always say God has a plan. Does He have a plan for mechanical equipment? I don't know. So there's that. There's the weather. The weather is beautiful, and we are headed home. From taking these people to the airport. I like making a little extra money. I like driving. I like driving on my own terms. These people are going to Florida, and I just came from Florida, and it got me thinking. And I know that Linda listens to the show. Super fan. Listened to every episode. 328 so far. This will be episode 329. She lives in McCall, Idaho, and she has this weather. And she lives in fire. I always say this. She lives in fire, and she lives in ice. She either lives in temperatures that are so hot, and it causes fires in the area, the area around her, or she lives in weather that is so cold that the snow is terrible, and she'll have ice and all that other stuff. A little coffee break. So I was thinking about that. I said, well, I always talk about how great the weather is in New York because the weather is beautiful. Other than the 39 or whatever it is degrees. First, second day of spring, it's sunny. It's really sunny out. It's beautiful out. And the majority, I joke about it, but the majority of my podcasts I have done with beautiful weather. And I share that with you. And so I'm taking that as a sign that I've been sharing the weather view. I do a weather report at the top of the show. So why did I do that? Because I felt it was necessary. But now that I've done it for 320 some odd episodes, it made me think about that. Like, what's my connection to the weather? Why am I discussing it? Why do I think that you want to hear about it? And nobody's really written me in any particular way that I can remember over the last 328 some odd episodes, asking me or talking to me about weather in any particular way. So you think I take a hint like, Dave, you got to really stop. And I've been told that by 1 or 2 people. It's not enough to make me think that I shouldn't do it, but you don't have to do that weather report. It's not really necessary. That's part of the podcast. I'm in a car. I'm looking at the window. I'm trying to create the picture, the environment in which I'm in. So I think there's some sort of connection. I know there's a connection between me and weather. Not any more or less than you or any other human. It's not a superpower. It's just that, I'm weather curious. But I'm curious about everything. But I do have a connection. So whatever that connection is, whatever the criteria is to establish a connection to give the connection a numerical number or a letter or a temperature degree. I don't know, whatever. I have a connection to weather. And, weathermen, weather maps, Eyewitness News in New York watching the weather. Yeah, Stormfield, I talked about him. Weathermen, I've talked about them a lot on this podcast. And I thought, let's talk about gun to your head, for those of you who hopefully aren't triggered by the phrase gun to your head. If you had to make a choice, an ultimate choice, of 3 different planets to live on. And when I say planets, I don't mean like not Earth. I mean Earth. The same Earth you're living on now. If you want to create a sci-fi scenario, I know Linda's a big fan of sci-fi. Might be a good idea for her future podcast, her next show. Something she could draw from, an idea where we've created 3 planets. One planet is 49 degrees and below at any given time, on any day. So let's say on a normal day, there's sunshine, like today. There's sunshine, there's some clouds, sometimes there's less clouds, sometimes there's more clouds, sometimes there's wind, sometimes there's no wind, sometimes there's rain, but whatever. But the criteria is that no matter what the other conditions are, that the temperature will be no higher than 49 and can be as low as possible. I'm not saying that you're going to get a minus 50 day. I'm just saying you live on a planet where no matter where you go, it'll never be warmer than 49, and it can be as cold as anything. Just like here in the United States, on this Earth that we live on now, that I know of, that you can go to the Antarctic or whatever, the south of the circle or whatever, and you go find minus 30, minus 50, and you'll get your wind and your penguins and all that other stuff. So same thing. It could be as cold as possible, but for the most part, the temperatures that you will live in Idaho or in New York or in California or Philadelphia or New Jersey or wherever, it'll never get warmer than 40 degrees and could be as cold as anything. I'm not saying there's an ice age coming, but on this planet, it could be 49 degrees, the warmest, and that's it. And then there's planet number 2. Planet number 2 is between 50 and 80 degrees. Not too hot, not too cold. It'll probably never be cold enough for a parka. You should never need a parka in thermal wear. You could be outside almost every day. You could ride your bike. You could do things. Right? You could work in the backyard. Whatever. Play touch football, certain sports. But it'll never get warmer than 80. Never get warmer than 80. Or I should say, let's say 80. 80 degrees, 50 to 80. So that's planet 2. Same conditions. It could rain, it could snow, it could do a whole bunch of... Well, how would it snow if it was over 50? Well, snow could fall from the sky because it's colder up there. But down here where your thermometer is, it never gets lower than 50. Never gets hotter than 80. Sounds like it'll be good for your air conditioning and heating bill, your electricity bill. If that's the way you control your temperature in your house. And then there's planet 3. For those who like it hot, some like it hot, it would be 80.1 or higher. Probably, if I was putting this in a poll, I would say 81 degrees. 81 degrees and higher. It could get as hot as it did last summer, from what I remember down south in Arizona, 114, 120. So does that mean you have to picture yourself living in Arizona? By the way, that was a yawn. I recognize that. No, it just means that wherever you live in the world, in the United States, wherever you live in the world, I'm telling you, the planet that you're living on could be planet Earth, could be planet New York, could be planet... Give it a name. It doesn't matter. It'll never get cooler than 81, and it can get as hot as anything. It won't be 150. It won't be 200. I'm not talking about the apocalypse. I'm just saying a general range. So, there you go. I'm going to maybe post a poll on the Dumbing It Down with Dave Facebook group, or the Dumbing It Down with Dave page, or maybe at Done with Dave at Twitter. I think that'd be fun. I don't know if I could do it on TikTok or Instagram, but I think this is an interesting conversation of all things being, and forget about your job. You don't have any connections to your job. You could work anywhere you want. You could do anything you want. You could, your family lives with you. Everything comes with you. Wherever planet you decide to go on, everything comes with you. Everything's with you. You're not missing out. Oh boy. You're number 2. You're not missing out. So planet number 1, 49 degrees and colder. Planet number 2, 50 to 80 degrees. And planet number 3 is 80.1 or maybe 81 degrees and hotter. Which planet would you pick up? Would you want to live on? Put it in the Spreaker chat. Or you could tweet me at Done With Dave. You could direct message me at Done With Dave. You can email me at dumbingitdownwithdave@yahoo.com. Or you know what you could do? You could also leave a voicemail. You go on the Dumbing It Down with Dave hotline, 347-338-8487. 847-338-8487. Let me see if I got that right. Yep, 347-338-8487. You can leave a voicemail and 30, 60, 90 seconds, whatever. Just try to keep it clean, if at all possible. And if you want, you can talk about this. You can talk about anything you want. And if it makes any sense, entertaining, informative, compelling, then maybe I'll play it on the show. I'll download it and play it on the show. So there you go. Once again, 347, it's in the show notes, 338-8487. And I gave you all the other social media that you can get in touch with me. All right, so how much time do we have left on this show? I hope I don't hit the wrong button again. All right, we got a couple of minutes here. Let's see about reading some comments from episode 328. Gainesville, 328. What was Gainesville about? Gainesville, I can tell you right now, I was in my car driving the Dodge Caravan, coming back from Gainesville, New York, Gainesville, Florida, from the NHRA, the National Hot Rod Association, Gator Nationals. That was a nice drive. Let me just say, I think I might have learned a lesson. I don't know. I probably would do it again because I'm dumb like that. I'm stubborn like that. Where I drove straight back, and I was tired, and I pushed through. I think I pulled over and took a nap somewhere for like an hour. I don't even know. I was so tired. I didn't even acknowledge the time. But I pulled over and I took a nap at a truck stop, and then I woke up and I bought some shitty food. And anyway, I disappointed myself. I definitely did not eat items that were carnivore worthy on the way back. But I pushed myself, and then when I got home, I think I was really burnt out. I was really burnt out because I had family visiting a couple of weeks ago, and I put a lot of energy into that. And then Gainesville, I put a lot of, even though it wasn't hard work, I still put a lot of energy into it. And then I had a bad back when I got back a little bit from sleeping in the van because, as I mentioned in episode 328, I forgot to bring my mattress. Out of all the things I didn't forget to bring, the one thing I did forget to bring was my mattress. That was pretty bad. That was pretty dopey of me. All right, so what I should have done is I should have pulled over somewhere and just really went to sleep. The reason why I didn't go to sleep is because I was trying to avoid Virginia and Baltimore and Washington traffic. I really want to avoid it. I really don't like driving in Baltimore, and I think it's dirty, the road that I was on, and I just didn't want to sit in traffic, and I've been in traffic in D.C. and all those areas, and I just wanted to avoid it, so I just pushed through. And then I think by the time I got home, man, I really paid the price. I did go to sleep. I did shower and go to sleep as soon as I got home. And I woke up like 3 or 4 hours later, but I was burnt. So I learned my lesson. And so there's another question for you. When driving long distances, we can save that for another show, I guess. But we'll talk about that. When driving long distances, do you like to leave super early in the morning, between like 3 and 6? Or do you like to leave at whatever time you feel like it? Or late at night? Some people like driving at night. We'll get back to that. I'm sure we'll get back to that at some point. Those are good questions. Preferences. Maybe with springtime coming, we'll talk about preferences this month. Different preferences. Maybe that'll be the theme for the month. It's a good idea. I should have theme months. Maybe? I don't know. All right, let's get to these listeners' comments. Weren't that many of them. I don't have my audience back yet, but I'm working on it. Got 12 comments. Linda Irwin wrote, No commercial breaks during your... Oh, yeah, I got to pay attention to that. How much time we have? 20 minutes, okay. No commercial breaks. No commercials during your 2 breaks. Okay, Linda wrote that. Yeah, I learned a little bit about that, Linda, and I don't think I can force the issue. I can try it, but I went longer than 45 minutes. I went to 51 minutes. So I think during the show, they actually did a break halfway. I think they just know mathematically what halfway is. So I did a thing at 23 minutes, thinking I was going to do a 45-minute show, but it didn't work out. I did a 51-minute show, and I think they did the commercial at about 25 or 26 minutes in. So, yeah, they got it all figured out. Linda Irwin says, oh, yeah, because I talked about the person, first person, second person. She wrote, 1, I am listening. 2, you should be listening. 3, Linda is listening. You know, Linda, I read that when you wrote it, and after you wrote it, after you posted it, and I did a little research, and I forgot what I found out, and I did not bring that to the table today. I wanted to be more prepared. I did look it up. I'm going to have to come back to this, maybe next episode. But I got to find something that talks about this. How to talk on the first person and so on and so forth. But thank you for that. Thank you for that. I am listening, 1. 2, you should be listening. 3, Linda is listening. All right. Linda Irwin also wrote Loop, D-Loop. L-O-O-P-D-Y-L-O-O-P. Loop-de-loop. Loop-de-loop. She wrote loop-de-loop. Because I was talking about what is it called? Loop-de-loop, loop-de-loo. How do they spell it? I actually looked that up too. I think I looked up loop-de-loo. I think I looked up the lyrics to the song. I'm going to try to bring that back next episode. It's all about being more organized. All right. And then she wrote, pronounced Payette. P-A-Y-E-T-T-E. So Payette or Payette? She wrote it, and I'm trying to make sense of it, and I didn't look it up. So P-E-T-T-E. I think it's Payette, or it wouldn't be Payette, because then she probably would have put Y, E-T-T-Y. All right, that's the name of the park that's always on fire, the national park, I think, where the tourists go. Linda Irwin wrote, I hold the door open for everyone. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. I was talking about how women see me in the parking lot and they run. Nobody holds the door for me because they're afraid of me for whatever reason. I don't know why. Something about my appearance is alarming to women. I understand that. It is what it is. Does it make me upset? Yeah, well, listen, I wish women would hold the door and look at me and go, well, hello there. I guess that gets old after a while. If you're one of those guys that women are always staring at you like you're eye candy, it probably gets old, right? Yeah, it probably gets old. I haven't experienced that. All right. Linda also wrote awesome security. Yeah, because I was working at the NHRA event, and basically I was security. What was I securing? Not much, really. Not much. Not much at all. Just, space on the ground. I'm laughing because, security, you think of big buff guards with guns or like training. I have no training. I'm just a person who breathes. That's it. And I can stand on my own 2 feet. All right. Linda wrote, the only commercials were at the beginning and the end, nothing in the middle. I did not watch the State of the Union. So what's interesting about the commercials, what I've learned, let me see. My glasses are on. All right. 24 minutes. I can't see now. 24 minutes. Let's take a break. I'll try to do a 48-minute show. Let's see if that works. All right, we're back. I'm going to try to do a 48-minute show and see if they do a commercial. What I learned about the commercials, Linda, is that they do break it down with the algorithm. Like your location, you won't hear the casino commercials that I'll get. I'll get New York casino commercials. You won't get them. So it knows where you're listening. And I think it knows a little bit about your background. I think this AI is pretty powerful. So the commercials you hear might be different from the commercials I hear and what Gail Nobles hears or Hal Aaron Cohen. If he's in Philadelphia, he might got a local Philadelphia dealership. There's a lot of different commercials. And I think they've got it all figured out. So, yeah. And they might not play it. They might not have anything directed towards your area. So maybe they didn't play a commercial in the middle because of where you live. I don't know. You probably get local commercials, from local businesses. All right, what else do I got? Local news here. Oh, she only listens to local news. I was asking about the news you listen to. She listens to local. All right, Mike Myers from Radio Hope. I haven't heard from him in a while, except a couple episodes ago. He goes, I've been to a Buc-ee's Humongous. He spells Buc-ee's Bucky's. But it's not. It's Buc'-EES. Did I mention the Dumbing It Down with Dave hotline? 347-338-8487. That number, once again, is 347-338-8487. You can leave a message, 30, 60, 90 seconds, or whatever. Just keep it clean on the Dumbing It Down with Dave hotline. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you chiming in. Good to hear from you. All right. Gail Nobles goes a different way on the show. She commented, you might have an allergy in your eye. No, it wasn't an allergy. I had suntan lotion. I had it on at work, and then I got in the car and I touched my face. I touched my eye. And I've done this before, where I kind of, stick my finger in my eye, whatever, to rub something, and then I got suntan lotion in my eye, and it burns. All I had to do was go to the bathroom and wash my face, which I eventually did, but I didn't do it for a while because I didn't want to stop the car because I'm stubborn. That's really not smart, but that's what I did. All right, Gail Nobles writes, also, keep enjoying your travels. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate it. Yes, I do enjoy them. And then Gail Nobles wrote, final comment, she writes, who does your commercials in between? It's good you can do that. Well, Spreaker, just like yours. Spreaker does all my commercials. I haven't done any yet. I haven't done one. So good for Spreaker. All right, that's it. 12 comments. Not exactly the deepest conversation, but at least some engagement. If you're curious about shows you've missed, go to the Spreaker app. Dumbing It Down with Dave is on all different platforms. Oh, you know what I got to do? I got to take a coffee break. Yeah. Coffee break is a good idea. Hey, everybody, listen, we are not going to do a 45-minute show today. We're going to do just a 30-minute show. I had some technical difficulties recording it because of my fat fingers and some, driving and podcasting. I've been very fortunate. But this particular time, I was not as fortunate. I didn't have an accident or nothing like that. I just picked up the phone. It was trying to do something, and I touched the wrong buttons. So I'm just going to add on here, because I stopped the recording way too soon. So it's Payette, as far as I can see. It is Payette, Idaho. And in 2010, they had a population of 7,433. All right? 11 years later, they grew 1,000. They have a population of 8,415 now. That's pretty cool for Payette. They grew 1,000. 1,000 people decided within 10 years, so that's 100 people a year moved into Payette. I'm curious why, and I'm curious, where and why in Payette. What did they move into, apartments or houses? So that's interesting that people moved to Payette. A lot of fire and a lot of ice. But anyway, it's a nice little area out there in Idaho if you're looking for a place to visit. I really appreciate you listening to the show today. And if you want to get in touch with me, don't forget 347-338-8487 is the Dumbing It Down with Dave voicemail. Leave me a message. I'd love to hear from you. What's your preferences? What planet would you want to live on? I'm going to try to post something on Twitter or X at Dumb with Dave. I'm going to try to post a poll, and also on the Dumbing It Down with Dave page on Facebook and or the group. I'm working on both of them. I'm not really sure why I have two. I know they offered two. I think Facebook wants you to do everything on the page, but I think there's more interaction on the group. I really don't know. But anyway, it was great to do this podcast. I'm glad I did it when I did it, and I hope that you guys will come back to the next episode. So it's 329 episodes. Next one will be 330. Who would have saw that? I never saw that coming. All right. I hope this whole thing sounded good because I had to do some editing. which I'm not good at, and it wasn't really the editing you think it is. It was really mostly like bastardizing the Spreaker system. Take care. Have a good week.